Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Creative Cosplay Corner. This episode, we have somebody coming to us all the way from the West Coast. We have Becca. Becca has a bit of a passion for what looks to be a lot of Star Wars. There's some other cosplay in there, but we've definitely got some passion for some Star Wars. Get right to it. I want to introduce Becca. Becca, come on the show. Tell us about yourself and give us a little background.
Hi, yeah. So I'm Bekahsoka on Instagram. I love Star Wars. That's what he said. It's my passion. It's my love, especially Star Wars women. The power and just beauty they all have that give young girls especially is something I love, and I try to embody myself through the cosplay that I do.
Okay. So if I may ask, we've got a few years difference in age, but I grew up with the original. Then you've got the prequels, you've got the sequels, you've got the spinoffs. How did you get into the realm of Star Wars? I mean, what was your bringing into? How did you get into it?
I know I don't have like a memory of my first time watching Star Wars. It just kind of was always there for me. My
Okay.
parents loved it, so it was just always there. But the prequels were my bringing into it. Like I loved that. I loved Padme especially. I loved Ahsoka when she came onto the scene. Just like the Clone Wars in general was just my passion.
Okay. So I got to tell you, one, I've already got, you just said it too, because I got some chill bumps, but that season 7 of Clone Wars just totally, right? I mean, absolutely nuts. And then the rumor with the Mandalorian show with Ahsoka in the near future I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm pretty sure you were probably excited about that too, weren't you?
Definitely, definitely. The season 7 was unexpectedly amazing and unexpected when it was announced. I was at the Comic-Con when they announced it. I was in the panel and I felt my heart stop. Like, because it's Clone Wars is just what saved me, like as a person. Like it was always there for me. Ahsoka especially. I was like 12 when she was 12. We grew up together, so like going back to that, just it felt like home, and it just felt so fun and safe and just warm.
Well, I got to tell you, they did a hell of a job with both the writing, the character development, and just that storyline. Because I'm an original trilogy guy, so the prequels were part of the story, and I appreciate them. But there's so much missing between 2 and 3 that Clone Wars just and when at the end of season 7 with and then Vader and I was just like, okay, this is great, right? So it really set me up for, again, kind of like you, I'm back into that, fanboy. I get all worked up about it, just getting so excited. Well, Becca, listen, one, I appreciate you being here today. What I've seen and what I've gone through in your Instagram and how I've seen what you do, I want to start to talk about some of this. So let's look at, I've got this picture. I want to talk about this one. And so we've got a few different choices here. So do me a favor. You said in your intro that you obviously want to focus on maybe the female characters and the roles, but not even just that. You're going to really, really get into these. So do me a favor. Talk about these, would you?
Yeah. So actually, those 3 costumes there were my first female characters like this. I did a Jawa before. That was
Okay.
my first 501st Legion, which was fun. I love it, but it wasn't me, if that makes sense. Like
Nope, I get you.
I liked it, but it wasn't what I am here for. So I found the ANH Leia, the classic, iconic. Everybody loves her. Everybody knows that costume, and that felt so much fun. I got to be this character I love, enjoy the faces I see on little girls when they would see me and they would just light up, and it really spoke to me. So I made the other costume, the Endor one, with the help of my boyfriend. He taught me actually how to sew, how to do all this.
Okay.
And then I was able to make the Padme in the picture, which is from the Clone Wars. A little lesser known, but I love Clone Wars, so I wanted to do something from the show that spoke to me.
So if I may, let's do it. This is a duo. So whatever you like, you guys set me up for success because I don't have to go dig this out. You guys already had this picture put together.
Yes.
So talk about Padme from the Clone Wars in this role and tell me about it and why you decided that this was something lesser known, but that you wanted to do. Why did it speak to you?
I liked it because it was the first costume I fully sewn myself. So it was
Okay.
kind of easier than in most of her gowns and elaborate things. but I also loved it because it showed her strong side. It showed her in the fight. It showed her doing what most people wouldn't think a senator or a former queen would do. Especially Clone Wars showed that side. It showed her transitioning and pretty much just being that strong person we knew she was, but didn't get to see often. And I liked that costume especially because she goes to like Mandalorian and she helps Duchess Satine out, and it was so cool seeing these two female characters especially, and I loved being able to be cool and like strong, but also really regal in a way.
Okay. So, and I appreciate that the term or the ideal of a heroine, a lead role of a female who's then the action star is going to be the one who saves herself, those kind of things. Um, I've always grown up with that because I grew up with Alien with, Ripley. Ripley was that kick ass. She's going to go literally beat up aliens. And then I don't know if my generation really caught it. Maybe they did, but like Leia and them, she didn't sit back and she was fighting, kicking ass, blasting troopers and, swinging. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So I love where your focus is. You want those positive role models, the women that are just going to come back. And like you said, she's done it all. She has been a queen. She has been a politician. She has been an ass kicker. She's done a little bit of everything. And you said you kind of like that role to put yourself into, right? I dig that. So the first three were maybe some of my traditional ones. Let's talk about maybe some of the non-traditional female roles that you try to embody. So do me a favor, talk about these as well.
Well, Ahsoka, like my name on Instagram, she's just amazing all around. Like I said earlier, I was her age when the Clone Wars came out, so
Okay.
it really spoke to me right away. Whereas I know most people weren't sure about her. Understandably, now watching season 1 and 2 again, I'm like, I get it. But she was sassy, she was smart still, but still learning and growing. And I think that's what really speaks to people now is she's always learning and always trying and always doing what's right, whether it's like a good thing or a bad thing, she does what's right. And I
Yep.
think that's always something I try to embody now.
I'm a big person about integrity. As a prior military and part of my personal life, some of the things I've done and decided to do, it's not necessarily the easiest choice to do what's right. And sometimes the hardest choice is what's right. And so, yes, I wholeheartedly, completely respect that about Ahsoka. I too wasn't quite sure about her. But like you just said, you watch her continue to grow, and still she might they say don't do it and she's going to go do it because it's the right thing to do, or they're going to say do it and she's like, no, I'm not going to do it because it's not the right thing to do. So I really caught on with her and really appreciated her. And then like I said, season 7 just took me
Yeah.
I was on my couch on the edge of my seat just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
It was a constant, just like, oh my God moments with her.
Yep. So do me a favor, we got 2 more. What's walk me through this.
Yeah, so it's actually Padme on the one side, but it's the Clone Wars Padme, so it's a little different than the one we see her in Geonosis, because being animation, they changed some things up a little bit, but it's close enough that people still know on Padme.
Sure.
But I like that because it still spoke to her classic side that people know, but then still went into Clone Wars, which is just my love. But it's a really fun one too. It's similar to the other Padme I have, where it's cool, it's strong, but it makes you feel like Star Wars.
And I always notice like I don't want to call them shields because it's not a shield, but the strap here. And then the line, he's like, I'm here to rescue Padme. And she's over there. She's already flipped out of the chains and she's already got herself, right? Like, I don't need you to save me, right? So, yep, I love it. And then finally, please tell me about your Merc. What's going on here?
My Mandalorian. Oh, she's that was a different costume for me. So from everything else we've seen right now, it's all soft costumes, it's sewing. So this was what I've wanted for a while, but like I didn't have the skill set for it at the time. I was so nervous. But I found the Mercs. I found a bunch of friends in there, which is a sister club of like the 501st Rebel Legion. They're amazing too. And it really made me feel safe and comfortable to start doing this kind of costume. But it's tricky because if you don't pick if you don't want to do like Bo-Katan or Boba Fett or Jango, it's all custom and it's all you. And I was like, am I creative enough for this? But I thought of, different Padme costumes that I love. I was like, maybe I'll incorporate that. And I used the old, like, original Clone Wars, the 2D animation from, was it 2003 or
Okay.
something? A little off on times, but
That's okay.
I did the snow bunny that she wears. So it's the full white with the cape and the fur trim. And it's kind of what I went for with the Mandalorian. So I have blue armor with the fur cape, and then incorporate just Padme where I could. I have the Naboo crest on one of my shoulders. I have her little pouches that she wears on Geonosis as my belt.
Okay.
You kind of went with more of like a female feel. Like you look at that and you know it's a girl. Like I liked that because then it still showed Padme's side, like the female heroine, but still a Mandalorian, still strong and powerful. And it was cool. It was different. I made basically everything myself with help from friends who knew what they were doing.
Okay.
um, but it was fun. It was different. It was new, and I want to make another already.
So I love this one because I'm from Texas and we don't get snow. So this picture right here is just, it's perfect. You said the snow bunny, kind of the whole setup, wherever you guys went, it turned out amazing. But I really like this picture because I do. I like this because it shows your, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, care or attention. It shows your passion for not only cosplay, but this cosplay. I can tell you put it into this, and this is what it turned out to be. So I thought this was a really fun one.
That was one of my favorite photos too, just because for that reason, it shows my love for her and that costume, the kit. Because I put a lot of work. I mean, the other ones I love too, but since
Sure.
this me, it was mine. I created this character. It's a different kind of love.
Yep. And like you said, you're already ready to do another one. So I like that, right? You're like, I do, but we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to change it up a bit. We're going to continue on that
Exactly.
journey. So I got two other Ahsokas because I just want to show the headgear and what this is. What is this made of?
So it's this type of this foam, like silicone kind of mixture. I
Okay.
didn't, because I was testing it out myself, but I didn't like where I was going with it. It's very difficult to make something like this. So I bought mine from Amber Bright Props. She's great. She does non-latex pieces, so it's easy to use for anybody. Super safe for hospitals, especially for kids, maybe, because we do a lot of
Okay.
events.
Yep.
Uh, but then it was a little more comforting knowing I didn't have to stress. There's a lot of people make amazing pieces for their costumes, but I'm still working on my skill level for that kind of
No,
piece.
and I like it because, like I said, some of the editing, the makeup, the attention to how this all played out. You even got and I don't know what this is called over here, the little,
Oh yeah,
um,
her Padawan braid.
yes, her braid, right? So you've got it, and it turned out fantastic. And so you've got where is it here? You've got a full piece here with the garb and the edit and everything. So I mean, there's a pretty kick-ass Ahsoka sitting right here. This is pretty badass. It is.
Thank you. That was years of making
Nope.
because it took a while.
And it played out perfect. I mean, you did a great job with this one. So we've seen some singles. We've seen some of your, here's another Padme. This was one of your, we'll call it action shots, right? But she's never far without, most of your characters are not far without either a weapon or just the power to handle themselves.
Oh.
But there's one character that in all of my Star Wars everything, there's one that has taken me aback. There is one character that will never, I shouldn't say never. I don't like to deal in absolutes, right? Good or bad, I don't deal in absolutes anyway. So I'm trying to figure out the word I want to use here. There is one that is going to be hard to top. And I want to talk about Jin.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, she's amazing. Yeah, Jin. I did that costume with help from my boyfriend because I was still learning sewing.
Okay.
Right for the movie, like when it was releasing, I studied all the photos, everything I could find. We put this together. Yeah, I couldn't not, because everyone messaged me. They're like, "Is this you? Like, you need to do this. You look just like her." And I was like, "Oh God, I need to do this justice now." But I think she turned out pretty good.
So the cost turned out amazing.
Yeah.
The character, I want to talk about the single most powerful character in the Star Wars world. And nobody probably wants to admit that or say that. They want Jedis, they want Sith, they want all that. Jen literally got picked up in scene one. She fought her way through. She said, forget everything else. Literally, we build it on hope. Let's go do this. And the Skywalker saga, the era of that, all of it has literally can't be said without that little pinpoint of Jyn Erso right there in the middle. Man, it was such a kick-ass movie. Scarif is one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars. The AT-ATs coming down the beach, everybody. It was just a fantastic. But her up on the tower, pulling, getting I was all about some Jyn. So yes, Becca, this turned out amazing. Not only just for you, but as a Star Wars character, you rock this one.
Thank you. She's amazing. She's another just powerful, strong, incredible female character in Star Wars that I feel like just deserves so much more. She needs all the love. I mean, she's gotten it. There's been books where she's been mentioned,
Okay.
and characters who look up to her, even though they've never met her, because of what she did for the rebellion. And yeah, she came from such a different background than most characters.
Yes.
And like grew up in a totally different way than most of the female characters, especially. Like they all were queens and princesses and Jedi, and it just hers was so different that I feel like speaks to more people, especially.
That everyday kind of opportunity that any one of us can be a part of something if we make the right choice, if we stick to our guns, if we, go with our gut and we actually do it. There were a couple of things in that movie that were heartfelt and I got a little verklempt. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little worked up. But that last scene when they're just sitting on the beach, man, I'll tell you, it was pretty kick-ass. It was a good role, good movie, and a good part of the storyline. So, yes, right. I mean, it was good. So, Becca, do me a favor. What's next? I mean, you've got some things in the works, but what's down the line? What's coming up for you in your world of cosplay?
So currently I'm trying to do the season 7 Ahsoka, the very end, Order 66. I've got most things going pretty well. I ordered a headpiece because that's another just even bigger than the one I couldn't make.
Okay.
But yeah, currently making all that armor, which I do mostly out of foam and like Sintra, which is like a type of super awesome plastic to work. And so she's kind of like my main push right now to do something for next. And also a battle handmaiden from episode 1, like the end of the movie, all the velvet burgundy.
Yes.
Craziness.
Okay.
That's another costume that's been on my list that I'm like, I need to just do this now. Especially with the new book that came out, Queen's Peril. I read that and I was like, I can't not do this right now. Like another story for Padme that's just so good.
So do me a favor. It's 2020. Everything's shot to hell. We don't have any cons. We don't have any, we got murder hornets, and it's an election year. It's going to get crazy, right? But when this comes back around and we start to get back to some normalcy, is there anywhere we're going to see you next year? I don't think 2020 is really going to play out too well, so I'm putting 2021 on the books. But is there where we're going to see you next year?
Hopefully D23, because I know that's next year. That's something I've not gone to before, but one thing I want to badly. I try to always go to San Diego Comic-Con because that's always fun. All my friends go, so it's fun to be able to see people and meet up, do photos, just hang out. Those are what's on the list, though. Like, things just happen. I don't plan out cons too far in advance. But especially those two big ones are that. And then Celebration, of course, 2022.
Yes, right, because it just got bumped a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So listen, Becca, I think it is amazing what you do. Between your character choices, your attention to detail, I mean, just the way that these played out, I couldn't I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better guest this afternoon to come on and tell us about what you're doing and what you're working on. The art form of cosplay, I'm still I'm an uber fan, but I'm still new. I'm learning about anime. I'm learning about they call it fantasy, but like the Game of Thrones and all that kind of stuff. I'm still learning about that. But I love to bring anybody on that just wants to talk about cosplay. And so in our recent adventures connecting on Instagram, I appreciate you coming onto the show. Is there anything you want to tell the world? This is your platform. It's your time. Is there anything you want to say to the guests before we go?
I mean, if anyone's thinking about getting into costuming, just do it. I mean, it's so much fun. You don't need any skill level to do it. Just have fun, meet people. And that's how I did it. Just get into it. Find a character you like, find a costume you like, and just start. Just have a blast. That's all it's about.
You guys, you heard it right there. Becca says it's a blast, have a good time, and just join the party, right? That's exactly what's happening right now in the world of cosplay. We're out there just having a good time and sharing our smiles. Well, listen, Becca, I appreciate you being here, coming onto the show for Creative Cosplay Corner. It's always fun for me to meet my guests. It's always fun for me to go ahead and share what it is that you do and how you do it. And I will tell you, I'm a big fan of not only Bekahsoka, right? Am I saying that correctly? Bekahsoka, and not only just a fan of Bekahsoka of what you do, but just how you do it and why you do it. You want to be that positive role model, not only for yourself, your peers, and maybe a younger generation of women and girls looking up to the characters that are out there and to you for being able to present those to them. So I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. It is a good time.
Definitely.
Yeah. So listen, everybody else out there, this was Creative Cosplay Corner. We appreciate y'all being here, and we will catch you guys on the flip flop.